Next video. Why no pill has solved the dating crisis yet. And the only thing that can. What can solve the dating crisis? What?
The manosphere or even many Christians. It seems like just about every faction.
I'm ready. Hold on. It's kind of loud.
Whether it's tradcons, the manosphere, or even many Christians, it seems like just about every faction today has a pill that they believe holds the answer to
the powder
dating
pill
and marriage crisis going on right now. And yet, things continue to get worse for all of them. And I have a theory about why this is. The reason no one has solved this yet is that no one has correctly identified the real cause. Now, granted, it seems like everybody has at least a piece of the issue in mind, but it doesn't seem like anybody's spotted the whole elephant yet.
What is it?
Peter,
Tell me.
the
Elephant.
here.
So before we go any further trying to solve this ourselves, we need to make sure that we're actually solving for the right thing. Now, today, there are 4 main views of looking at this. We're going to look at each of them, the one thing they all have in common, why that one thing has stopped all of them from solving anything, and at the end, I'm going to present a 5th option for us to consider. One that, to me, stands head and shoulders above the rest of them.
This guy has all the answers. He knows. He's gonna fix it for us. Let's go.
As the most obvious description of the cause, and it presents the most obvious solution. It's a solution so simple that many of you will hear it and go, oh, yeah, duh, of course it's that. Why is nobody talking about this? Except it will be very obvious why no one is talking about it. So getting into it, we're gonna call these first 4 views on the crisis the 4 pills. We're gonna start with the trad pill. Now, this is a sort of faith-based view, though not exactly religious necessarily. It's more just a faith that the old ways always work, all the time, whatever they may be. Their assumption seems to be that stuff like this never changes. So if men would just go back to doing things the way that they did it, well, then they would get similar results. And since their traditions assume that relationships just kind of happen whenever men decide to do it, it forces them to also assume that if men and women aren't getting married and having kids, well, it must be the men's fault somehow. So they look around and sure enough, they see a bunch of red and black pill influencers saying a bunch of stuff that seems to be discouraging men away from pursuing women at all. Boom, they found their cause. The simplest way to say it is that in the tradcon mind, this isn't a reality issue. It's a narrative issue. As they see it, the other pills are spinning a false, discouraging narrative that's keeping men from engaging. So if they get rid of those other pills, the men will stop being so weak and cowardly, and they'll go back to pursuing women. They'll get married, have kids, boom, problem solved. That's why you saw like the Daily Wireists attacking the red pill and the black pill without ever truly considering their viewpoint. For example, when Michael Knowles was interviewing Pearl, he pretty much just attacked every word out of her mouth, even when she was just relaying truthful information. To him, it wasn't about finding the truth. It was about deleting the narrative. Now,
Thank you for the prime sub.
Overwhelming evidence at this point that things have changed. In fact, they've gotten so much worse, so fast, that you don't even have to be that old to be completely out of touch now. And let's use an illustration to kind of show what's going on here. We're gonna carry this illustration for the rest of the video. Imagine you have a section of terrain that men have to navigate across in order to successfully date women, get married, and keep that relationship alive. For the older guys who've already crossed most of that terrain, it wasn't that terrible. It was rocky and bumpy in some places, but it wasn't really all that dangerous. So that's how they remember it. But then imagine that after they crossed it, a war happened, and that terrain got absolutely destroyed. Now there are poison gas clouds, radiation zones, craters, minefields, roving bandits, and mud pits that will swallow a man whole. Most of that stuff was not there 10 plus years ago. So when the older guys see these younger men hesitating and saying, hey, these red and black pill guys came along and they gave me a map of that terrain out there that I'm supposed to cross, and yeah, it looks stupidly dangerous, and it also doesn't look look like there's much of a reward on the other
Right.
side. So this doesn't look like a great idea. The older guys react by saying, oh, no, that's bullpucky. You guys are just being too soft. Don't look at that map. That one's ugly and gross. Here, look at this map of how things were back when we crossed over. See, doesn't that look a lot nicer? Now quit being such a coward and go do it already. Now, their map is a lot prettier, but it's not accurate to the terrain anymore. You can probably guess how that works out for most of the guys, except for a lucky few. I understand the urgency that they have about this, because as they see it, if men don't cross that terrain and get married and have kids, society will collapse around all of us, including them. But the trad pill solution isn't to fix any of what's broken with the terrain. Their solution is just to put out better propaganda than the other pills. And if that propaganda doesn't work, then they fall back to just guilt and shame to push these guys out across the terrain regardless of the casualties. Basically, their position is it's not that bad, and even if it is, do it anyway, because I need you to keep my society going. Into the meat grinder, boys. Get moving. And that brings us to the red pill. Now, these guys are at least trying to be honest about what the terrain actually looks like. Now, they're not exactly trying to fix anything either, but they have a different reason. See, they believe that there's no way to change any of the terrain. Their view is, well, hey, with women, it's just their nature to behave the way they do. You can't change it. So the best you can do is try to navigate around it. To them, the cause of
Didn't he just explain that with the blue? I'm confused. I feel like he's just repeating himself, but I'll keep hearing him out.
the crisis is inaccurate information. So as they see it, the solution is just to get more accurate intel into the hands of men so that they can adjust their behavior and work around the danger spots. Coming back to the terrain analogy, the only thing they think they can do about this is just create the most accurate LiDAR scan of the terrain, make a map out of it, and say, here you go, boys. Good luck. Now, this does work for some men, but the terrain has become such a complex, hazardous maze that it's turned into an extremely difficult puzzle to solve. In some sense, success with women is locked behind an IQ paywall, where you have to have a high enough level of intelligence to solve enough of the puzzles to get anywhere. And it's not just IQ, you have to have high social standing, elite resource generation skills, success traits, charisma, on top of tall height, good looks, and so on. Some of that you have to be born with, and other parts of that you have to do an insane amount of work to build up. In other words, you have to make it to the top of the list of men in women's minds. And not every guy is even capable of becoming what most modern women require them to be. And even if they do, that doesn't always protect them from the nightmarish stuff that women can do to them and completely get away with. This leads us to the black pill. See, in order to meet most women's standards today, you as a man have to put in huge effort to become all the different things that those women
Really? I don't know. The first one and the second one sound awfully alike.
want you to be. And
Okay,
this
let's
is
hear
not
the black pill.
You as a man have to put in huge effort to become all the different things that those women want you to be. And this is not like an on-off switch where you either have it or you don't. It's a process of becoming. And all men are at some
He will give us the answers at the end of the video. That's how it goes, right? He will solve the dating crisis.
stage in that pipeline of becoming. That's fine as long as the guys at the beginning of the pipeline can look at the guys farther down the line and see that it's working for them, and that those guys are generally being rewarded for all that effort and sacrifice they have to put in. But if the guys at the earlier stages look up the pipeline and see that the men at the front who've been advancing the farthest and are doing the best that they can are still not receiving that reward of a wife, or worse, and many of the wives they do end up with are more of a punishment than a reward, or worse still, those women punish these guys with a crippling divorce. The guys who are in the middle or just starting out tend to get discouraged. So in our terrain illustration, it's like they see the best and brightest men getting blown up by landmines and taken out by roving bandits. And then they think, well, man, if those guys aren't making it, what chance do I have? So the best option looks like just staying put. That is the black pill, right? Just stay away, don't get involved. Now, it goes without saying, that is not a solution either. That's just avoidance. And finally, that brings us to what a lot of people are calling the God pill or the Christ pill. Essentially, the belief is that if you follow Jesus and you as a man do the Christianese way well enough,
What?
and you get together with a Christian woman, then God will whisk you over the top of all that broken terrain and set you down on the other side, safe and sound. Sure, there'll be tough times and it will be hard every once in a while, but as long as you are a good Christian guy and your wife is a Christian, everything will work out fine. Now, this view is built on the assumption that all of the problems in the relationship world today exist because people are not doing things according to God's design, which, spoiler alert, I sort of agree with. However, there's also an assumption that there is no distinction between the modern Christian cultural way versus God's way. These are imagined to be precisely the same thing. So it's assumed that as long as people do things the Christianese way, then they will be doing things exactly as God designed, and it will prevent or solve all of these problems automatically. Now, each of these four views has an element of truth to it, but they all share a different version of the same problem. And that is, none of them solves the problem, the broken terrain. Now, I know each of these camps will have objections and say, but no, our way really does solve it. So before we move on, I want to address some of those objections. First, with the trad pill. Yes, there are elements of truth here, right? Men are a bit softer today. I mean, we gotta ask who raised them that way, but that's a whole other video. And it is also true that the information contained in the red pill or the black pill is discouraging, especially if you frame it in a really hopeless way. But there's a reason why those narratives got so popular in the first place. They match what people are experiencing. They could not have taken off if there was no reality problem going on as well. And the TradCon view does nothing to address it. A lot of the time, they won't even let you be honest about the problem. And that gives us the worst of both worlds, as far as I can tell, because no effort is put into solving anything real, but no one is allowed to tell the truth about the problems and what's really going on either. So if the TradCons get their way, then the problems don't get fixed, and nobody knows how to navigate around them either, so everybody just has to limp their way through all of the brokenness and hope they don't get taken out by a landmine. Now, again, I understand exactly why they've arrived at this.
Okay, I'm tired of these like analogies and stuff. Tired of the like visuals and whatnot. Like I want him to like define this terrain and stuff. Like, I'm getting confused. I'm getting so confused. What's he talking about? I'm curious though, that's the thing. Why do people see no meaning in relationships and reproduction? Option 1, they lack delusion. Option 2, they lack the willpower. Option 3, meaning is impossible regardless. Option 4, meaning is exclusive and can only come from specific sources. You're following it? I can't. Can I get a TLDR? Just joined. This dude, he's saying he's categorizing different thought processes about the solving the dating crisis. He's using a lot of analogies that, I don't know, I guess they make my head hurt or something. I'm not quite picking up what he's putting down on that stuff when it comes to the terrain. Because in the... I don't know. Maybe I just have to like rewatch it to try and parse what he's trying to tell me. But yeah. I'm still curious though. Like home math levels? You know what? I know why I don't understand. It's cause home math, he makes the nice little graphs. He draws the pretty pictures. This guy, he's just talking. He's just talking to me. That must be why. I get it. I am a visual learner. It's all starting to make sense. How about no pills? How about eating healthy so we won't need any pills? Yeah, no meds. No meds, no meds. Math is 4chan picture poster while this guy is Reddit endless yapper. That's funny. I thought this video was almost over too, but we're only halfway through. I do kind of want to hear him out. Like, I really want to know what his, like, grand solution is. I'm gonna guess. I'm gonna guess that his grand solution is taking bits and pieces from each one and combining it. That's the grand solution, I bet. Buy his book. Yeah, that's gonna be the end. To find out the answer, buy my book. Ah, fuck. I'm gonna if he pulls something like that, I doubt he will. But if he does, I'm gonna dislike the video for sure. All right, let's listen though. Let's listen.
Conclusion. They don't want society to collapse around them and their kids, and they also don't want to take responsibility for causing any of the broken terrain. That's a whole other discussion. The real problem with this is that it's what I would call Lord Farquaad thinking. It's like,
some of you may die.
Wait, who is he talking
Lord
about?
Farquaad thinking. Causing. Now again, I understand exactly why they've arrived at this conclusion. They don't want society to collapse around them and their kids, and they also don't want to take responsibility for causing any of the broken terrain. That's a whole other discussion. The real problem with this is that it's what I would call Lord Farquaad thinking. It's like,
some of you may die.
Is he just talking about the different pills?
I am willing to make.
Like, who is he talking about?
They're not willing to do anything to fix the broken terrain these men have to walk across, so they're not offering a solution, and if we're honest, they don't really have a leg to stand on when they call anyone else.
Yeah, I feel like he's talking about boomers,
so they're not braving the mind.
I don't know. I'm still not sure. I think he's gonna pull the boomer thing because he was talking about the people or who raised their children early on. He might be going down the boomer route.
Fields to do it. So yeah, they want the outcome that they want, and they don't care what it costs other men, so long as they get it. That's not a solution. And then again, we have the red pill. These guys are trying to be more honest about it, but they're just trying to navigate around the problems, not fix them. That's not a long-term solution either, because in their view, only a small percentage of the most insanely capable men will ever have a shot with women. And even then, there's very little they can do to keep you safe from those women's behavior if it goes bad. It's not a solution, it's a band-aid at best. And even then, it's only one that will help a handful of hyper-capable men. Now, I know the black pill guys will say, see, this is why we're right about everything we say. Just stay away and that will solve everything for you as a man. But there's a problem there too. Sure, it protects you in the short term, but the tradcons are right that if too many men just sort of abdicate and retreat from marriage and stop having kids, society will collapse in our lifetime. So it is a safe short-term solution, but eventually the collapse we're seeing right now will get so bad that you won't be able to hide from it in your apartment anymore. Eventually it will come knocking on your door. And when that happens, there will be nowhere left for you to escape it. So I understand the appeal. I understand why it feels right, especially if you're not thinking long term. But escapism won't be an escape forever. It can't. And finally, the God pill does have some truth to it as well. There is some evidence that people who practice their faith as Christians have better marriage outcomes than secularists, or people who say that they're a Christian but don't actually practice it. But this also isn't a full solution, because right now it relies on the assumption that men can do it all on their own, which they can't. To the God pill view, it's all about men's faith practice, men's repentance, men's behavior, and so on. There's an assumption that Christian women are already maximally good at following Jesus, so nobody needs to worry about their behavior. There's this sense that women are the good Christians, and if we could just get men up to par with how good the women are, well then every one of these problems would melt away. But that's not turning out to be as true as we want it to be. Many men are learning the hard way that God is not going to whisk you over the top of the problems and deposit you safely on the other side just because you had faith, or you, the man, alone did the Christian practices well enough. This idea that God will bubble wrap us from problems is especially false when the problems are things that we did to our own society. Problems brought on by feminism and hatred of men and favoritism towards women, which we have imported into much of our Christian thinking. We did not raise our daughters to value men, or having children, or their role as a helper. Instead, we taught them to value independence, power, attention, and money. We taught them to obey their impulses and follow their feelings like gospel. And we taught them that everyone around her should submit to her feelings too. Those choices have a practical cost. So God may have an answer for us here, but the God pill does not. Now, don't hear what I'm not saying. I'm not saying that God can't save us as people, right? He will save our souls. But if we caused these problems, then we can't expect God to just keep us in a bubble and teleport us past all the consequences of what we did. All these pills have one thing in common. They try to deny, avoid, or get around the problem. None of them fix it. That's why I would propose a fifth pill.
The solution! All right. Here we go. Yay! This guy is the classic performative Christian who's actually Jewish. Is he Jewish? Great question, guys. He's gonna be like, it's all my fault. Actually, it's my fault. That's the solution. All right, let's see.
I'm gonna call it the fix-it pill, even though that's kind of dumb, and I know somebody more creative than me will come along and give it a better name. The fix-it pill is a call to first understand what is broken about the terrain, right? Be honest about it. Then stop trying to avoid the brokenness and clean it up instead. So let's talk a little bit about what actually caused the terrain to get so broken. Because if we don't understand this, we will solve nothing. The problem that's causing the relationship crisis is not a narrative. It's not a lack of faith. The problem is not men. The problem is not women. The problem is sin. Sin destroys everything that it touches. In the modern era, many Christians, it seems, have lost sight of that. And so in our efforts to become a more seeker-sensitive...
Wait, what? What is it? Sin? What?
The problem that's causing the relationship crisis is not a narrative. It's not a lack of faith. The problem is not men. The problem is not women. The problem is sin. Sin destroys everything that it touches. In the modern era, many Christians, it seems, have lost sight of that. And so in our efforts to become a more seeker-sensitive, come-as-you-are kind of church, we've gotten a lot more permissive when it comes to accountability for sin. Now, at the same time, as we've gotten more and more permissive, we've gotten more and more feminist too. And the level of permissiveness that we've given to women for...
All right. I'm gonna stop this video. This is definitely not a video for me. Cause it's like, what? What is this I'm not religious, you know? The whole sin thing, like what are we on about? What's he talking about? He said feminists. Yeah, I get it. I get the feminist thing. I see how that's annoying. I get it. I get it. Porn and stuff. Okay.
Their behavior has far outpaced men. If anything, we still notice when men get stuff wrong. And most Christian leaders are quick to put all kinds of rebukes and responsibilities and accountability onto men. We place a pretty heavy burden on them, but that has not crossed the aisle to the ladies. And so they have been sort of just allowed to behave however they want for a long time. That behavior has created the broken terrain that men now have to cross. If you don't believe me, there's some good sources on this. Pastor and biblical counselor Dr. David Edgington has a couple of really good books on the topic where he details a lot of the sinful, destructive behavior that women get away with in churches. Or you can watch the videos that my wife and I just did recently where she goes into detail about sins that she's watched women get away with for decades. This is not theory.
Well,
These
like
are
being
real
a hoe?
stories of real things that are happening right now. That unaccountable behavior has created a massive barrier to relationship formation right now. The problem that we're targeting here is lack of trust. Men don't trust women. And that lack of trust didn't come from a narrative, it came from bad behavior. When you allow any group of people to go completely unaccountable in their behavior, men, women, rich, poor, young, old, doesn't matter. When you just let them go, their behavior becomes a minefield to the people around them.
Yeah,
it just so
I see
happens
what
that
he's
right
saying.
now, women are the ones we've had the least accountability
No
for.
consequences.
So it stands to reason that, yeah, their behavior is gonna break men's trust. And I have to be clear about this. This is not all women all the
isn't-
time.
yeah, it's not
There's
women
still
exclusive.
some who are fairly humble and treat men decently well. My wife is a pretty good example of this. But the amount of wolves in Christian girl clothing is increasing thanks to our permissiveness. And so is the damage they're doing. Many women who seem to be
Oh,
Christians
man.
on the outside are actually prideful, self-centered, demanding, disrespectful, promiscuous, and that behavior has broken men's trust.
Yep.
So this didn't come out of thin air. These
Yep.
men didn't just read about this online. They've experienced these things. And they watched other men in their family and friend groups experience horrifically painful, destructive behavior and watched as nobody cared about those men or did anything to help. Selfishness, delusional standards, self-indulgence, reviling and spiteful treatment of husbands. They've watched as those women have completely gotten away with it. And if anything, it was the men experiencing those
who's
things
letting them
who
get
got
away with
blamed for
it?
That is the terrain that I'm talking about.
Why are the women just allowed to act this way without any consequence? You know? There's no consequences for the way that they act, you know? I don't think it's the women making these decisions fully. You know?
The brokenness of the terrain men have to walk is all the behavior that we've stopped holding women accountable for. If you want to repair the trust
No,
between men
he's
and women,
going to blame
there is
women.
one way and one way only.
What's the one
Deal
way?
with the behavior that broke it. Teach against it, disincentivize it,
Yeah,
hold women accountable for it. And of course, I'm not saying we should stop holding men accountable. I'm just saying to take the standards that we apply to men and apply them to the ladies too. Also, positively incentivize women to behave better, give them good reasons. Show them
Who's this is a video for the people in power who allow things like degeneracy to go unchecked, who reward who make it so divorces are easy, you know, and they make life really hard for these men. You know, there's no consequences for this bad behavior because because the people made it, the people in power made it so. Like women are gonna behave this way because they've been given, you know, the green light to behave this way. They don't just really think of it on their own, you know?
The benefits, teach them wisdom, and teach them what they should be valuing. Show them how it will be good for their soul and their mental health and the outcomes that they get in their life as well. I mean, sure, you can pretend that there's nothing really wrong here and try to shame these guys out of spreading their stories, but that won't repair their trust in women. It'll just break their trust.
Simply shaming women is not the solution. The underlying issues enabling the behavior are still intact. Exactly. You can shame them, but it's not gonna make a big enough impact, right? You absolutely should, right? Shame. But it's just not gonna make a big enough difference.
Trust in you. And a quick message to my TradCon friends. These guys
Shaming doesn't work on people who have no shame. Yeah.
trust their experiences and what they've seen with their own eyes far
We're
more
cooked.
than they trust you.
Meat,
And if
we're
you
cooked.
try to tell them that what they've been through isn't real or isn't a big deal, they're gonna get away from you as fast as possible because it looks like you're just trying to gaslight them so you can exploit them for the resources that they provide you and the stability they provide to your society, a society that you get rewards from, but they don't. And if you hear nothing else that I say, hear this: sin destroys, and the stability they provide to your, they're gonna trust you. And if you try to tell them that what they've been through isn't real or isn't a big deal, they're gonna get away from you as fast as possible because it looks like you're just trying to gaslight them so you can exploit them for the resources that they provide you and the stability they provide to your society, a society that
What?
you get rewards from, but they don't. And if you hear nothing else that I say, hear this:
What?
sin destroys, always. No exceptions. It does not take a day off for women. It's not like sin goes,
Yeah, I'm just not gonna be as destructive when she does it. I was gonna kill and destroy, but I'm just not gonna be deadly today because it's a woman involved.
but that's how we treat it, right? When women sin, we've treated it as though it does no harm to her or to anyone around her. So we've
I'm gonna be honest, I don't think this guy understands what even he is saying. It's mostly vague statements, overly complex wording, and keeps dodging specifics, textbook pseudo-intellectualism.
Yeah, I don't like this whole sin thing. What is this abstract concept and how do we fix it? You know?
let them kind of do whatever they want. And their sin is doing exactly the damage the scripture says it would. This brokenness in the relationship world is the natural consequence of unrepentant sin. And not just that, this is clearly hurting women too. Their mental health is in the gutter, and it has to be really frustrating for the women who are still humble and decent to watch good men say no to them because of what other women are doing right now. But we have to recognize that this is something men can't fix for women by changing the men's behavior. No amount of faith practice.
Oh my god. He's literally blackpilling though right now. He's the one who's like, oh, I can't be fixed.
Men's behavior. No amount of faith practice on the men's side will overcome the natural consequences of women's sin. No amount of repentance by the men will ever fix what women's sins are.
Yes, it can. These things are allowed by people. People make these decisions. It's people. People allow sites like OnlyFans to exist. Websites like Fansly's to exist. They allow for these low fault, no fault divorces. These are all people problems. This isn't just some abstract concept, this cosmic force that no one can control. People can control these things. They have before and they can in the future. They can now. Like, it's not hopeless. Jesus Christ. It's only hopeless if you're getting caught up in this whole gender wars bullshit or some sort of like cosmic force bullshit. Oh my God. Like, it's so easy. Women naturally, we've been over this before, and I know I've said it time and time again. Women naturally uphold and what is it? They push what is like the society's opinion. They enforce the narrative. That's just what they do. It's how they maintain social order. That is a woman thing to do, you know. We just need to change their we need to change a few things. Like oh my God, I'm sorry. I'm just like so frustrated right now. Like the stuff that's pushed and continues to be pushed, women will push that. Don't get rage baited. Yeah, they control the norm and what is acceptable. They don't control it. They're the ones who will shame people who are like outside of this norm. They don't control it. They're like, I'm just so annoyed. Like all these problems, like, oh, it's women. No, it's not. They're just like a symptom of what's happening. You change things and women will change with it. Women's opinions will change around that. And then they will start to push that way too. But the thing is nothing, things only have changed for the worse. And that's why the women get worse. And that's why why the men get worse. And these are all things that are controlled by people. People make these things. God. I understand what you're saying, but repeal the 19th? Oh my gosh. I'm back from dinner, Powder. We don't even have to like go that far. You know what I mean? Like I don't see repealing the 19th like right now as like the grand all solution here. I don't think that's gonna work. You know what I mean? Halfway. Meet him halfway. Meet him halfway. Man. We could try it. They're not gonna do that. No way. Oh, man. Just let me die alone in peace. Oh my goodness. Deport women. Deport women so all the men live on an island alone and then they die. Oh my gosh. I think the solution is $10 billion more to Israel. Oh my God. I can't believe you said that. Oh, good grief. How about just how about the solution is let's go get boots on the ground in Iran. Let's have a bunch of like American soldiers die in the name of Israel. Yep. Surely that'll solve the dating crisis, right? Less men, right? Oh my God. $20 trillion? Jesus. 20 trillion? Just take the black pill and watch anime girls. Works fine. And then you have money for guns, ammos, and computer parts. Oh, man. Anything less than 50 billion is antiseptic. Watch anime girls, that's why I'm here. Yay! Yeah. Sorry. I just... I don't know how to even describe this. It's just... There's so many things that need to be fixed. I kind of get what he's trying to say, but I just don't like the sin argument. I don't like it at all. And like how women just need to change the way that they are one by one. You know, it's just
Lust S3's work, greed, want,
they're
gluttony,
not gonna
overindulging,
listen.
becoming obese, pride, praising oneself, wrathfulness, uncontrolled, rage, vengeance, envying
What?
others, hatred of others, blessing. Sloth, laziness, no motivation or direction. This is what he is talking about. The sin he is talking about it, not. Super complex, I'm very religious, but to an extent the world has caused these issues to the extent that I don't think enough people truly want to change. People are complacent and lazy.
Then what's the answer? How do you fix it? What are like what? Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's going to change on an individual level at all. Not to a big enough effect. We need prenup clarity. The solution is to nuke the internet. Monkey, oh my gosh. If we were a few centuries back, he'd be in the berry gathering group, not in the mammoth hunting one. Oh man. The terrain he's referring to, you can't fix the symptoms without fixing the terrain. Industrialization, birth control, and the women's liberation movement, the terrain he's referring to. The pause photo's vicious? Yeah, a little bit. Yeah. We need to figure it out and get our shit together, or God will return and we will be smited. Okay. I definitely... There's a reason we reached this point, right? These things have been allowed to happen and they go... There's just no consequence. But there's people that allow this to happen. Fuck those people, you know? For letting us get to this point. It's very frustrating to see. Revert back to monkey. Ooh, ooh, ah! It's all individual stuff. Accountability is what is missing. Masculinity, ruthless. I gotta get shit done. It's not, though. It's not. It's not. It's not individual stuff, though. It's not individual thing. When you take a bunch of individuals, they form a society. This is a societal issue. It's not just like one dude over here and is in the, like his little box. It's like this is a big enough issue to where it's a societal one. I don't need society. Society needs me. They do need you. They do. Like, you can try and fix it on an individual level yourself by doing, like, things to try and find a mate or whatever. But, like, the fact that there's it's called the dating crisis. There's more than just you involved. More than just this one guy who's having a difficult time getting a partner. This is a problem with a bunch of people. It's a societal one. If there was a simple answer, it would have been solved already. We need actual leaders to set cultural tonal shifts to start. Yeah. I think once we start. Yeah, exactly. Shift it. God. I mean, shoot, there's other things too. Like the whole. There's so many things. It's not even just unique to dating, right? There's other things. Talking about like double income, dual income families and stuff. You know, you got to send the women out to work. The men have to go out to work. Not enough time to like raise a family properly. Like, holy shit. There's a lot of problems. I know, Meech, I know. I think most men have given up, just not worth it anymore. I know, it's sad. That's a problem, right? You're saying most men have given up. It's sad. It's very unfortunate. You should be mad. You should be really, really mad. Giving up just like lets it proceed to happen. Like it's just gonna keep happening and it's gonna get worse. Ugh. I am angry. That's good. We are mad. I'm also not paying attention. Oh, I'm also not paying alimony. Alimony. Pizza, thank you for the prime sub. Thank you, thank you. Giving families tax breaks or even help them buy homes, what we are spending in this war so far could house a lot. I saw gas prices went up. I was like, what the fuck? God damn it. Now gas prices are increasing. That's not good. So I shouldn't give up, but I also can't fix anything as an individual. I'm confused. This is okay. When you take a bunch of individuals and you put them all together, I don't even know how to tell you this. You shouldn't give up. I'm just saying this isn't an individual issue. This isn't just, it's a societal issue. You can try and fix yourself and go and get out and get a mate and get a girlfriend or something. The fact that there's so many people out there that can't do that or are having a hard time doing that, it's a societal issue. That's it. You can try and fix things for yourself on your own, but there's not enough people that are able to do that. Thus, we have this issue. It's your fault. Our marriage sucks. Yeah, sure. Oh my goodness. Think people's expectation on dating and being with someone is too high on each other? Yeah, well, I mean, social media has done a number on people, right? All these expectations and stuff. For sure. You take these Instagram models and they're able to just like edit their photos, right? To make them look like super hot and stuff. And then you have like a bunch of what is it? Men doing the same. It's both. Women and men. Women have been propped up by society to like look bad, but then ask or they demand a they don't have realistic expectations. Some men don't have realistic expectations. We've also been heavily pushing the whole like woman empowerment stuff, the like feminism and blah 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 blah. That stuff has been pushed, and as a result, manosphere has evolved as a response to that, you know? And it's just tough because it's like really frustrating to me that this is happening because most people just it's like so rotten. They're so rotten in the head, you know? From online stuff. It just sucks. It's so frustrating to me. Just need to have realistic expectations here. I'm so mad. Being able to afford a home would be nice. I poured the foundations for over 2,000 homes, but still can't afford one of my own. I'm sorry. I know that sucks. That's really frustrating. You should be able to afford one. You really should. Hello, first time here. Hello, King Monkey. Hello. Delete the internet then? No, I mean, unfortunately, the internet's gonna happen, but what is like on the internet? Like what? All of this hypersexual stuff doesn't help, you know? And it's just degrading to a bunch of women. It's so degrading. And yet, women are still able to go out and find a partner because men are like running out of options here. Because there's no punishment for going out on the internet and being a hoe. You can just be a whore online and still find a partner because you've been given that opportunity to do that. Things have become so unaffordable to the point where women are taking pictures of their body and posting it online in order to make a quick buck. And it just goes unchecked. It's completely fucked. I know, insect. I know. I know. Mm-mm-mm. Mm-mm-mm. Sorry, I'm catching up with chat. AI searches. You're blackpilling? I'm not blackpilling. It's a totally fixable issue. It's totally fixable. Dating apps suck butt. Older brother managed to get out before me. It's like it's very fixable. That's what I'm trying to push. Is that this isn't just some like cosmic force causing all of this to happen. These are people allowing this to happen. How to lead the way? All right, I'll try. I don't know if anyone will listen. Start shaming every guy you see with EHO emotes, nodders. Thank you for the hydrate. Thank you. There also are a lot of women out there too that are not, you know, the best looking women, right? They're out there. So if you really want one, you can probably find one, you know? I don't want people to get like turned off from trying. I want you to try, you know? Even if that means adjusting your expectations a bit. Because at the end of the day, what should be most important to you is finding someone who is kind and can provide you with a family, and you guys can live as a happy family unit. I want you to try, but I'm also just like really mad because it's just I'm sorry. I'm just really upset with the people at the top for like letting it get to this point. For letting it get to the point where this dude has to make a YouTube video talking about sin and talking about the dating crisis, and it's like, oh my god. It's just so sad. It's so very sad. So sad to me. And then we have people blaming women, and then you have the women blaming the men, and it's just like, ah! The problem is that there is good girls out there, but they are probably in their homes too. How do you meet them? How do you meet these? Well, I don't know. Not all of them are just like holed up in their house. They're all like agoraphobic or something. There's a lot of problems here. I mean, let me think of something. The smartphones really fucked us, didn't it? Like simple things like building walkable, clean, nice cities, right? That aren't riddled with a bunch of people who want to kill each other. Having places that, you know, you can go to when you're like, you can walk to like a cafe or something and you see a pretty girl sitting across the cafe and you go up there and you like try and strike up a conversation or something. Like, not making it so everyone can just stay in their house and be on the internet and rot, you know? There should be a push to kind of actually go outside and talk to people, be more social, and that should be rewarded, you know? She got a phone in her hand. It's not in my hand, don't worry. It's just in front of me. Oh, man. Because we're like... There's not a lot of cool places for people to gather, at least where I'm at, you know? And then even then, it's like, is it safe? Is it safe? I don't know. Not at night. Probably, definitely not at night. Oh my god. I'm like chewing on my on my shirt because I'm just like rah 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 rah. The mall is fun to do. That just remember to not
This
hang out
place
on
is
the
pretty
day.
cool, but I ain't gonna get laid here.
No, you're not gonna get laid here. Nope. I'm just here for the sillies, for the silly times. Wouldn't it be easier to be the type of person someone would feel safe around? Yes. We've just got other issues too. I'm sorry. We just got other issues. Racial issues, affordability issues, dating issues. These are all just like affecting each other. They're all just like boop 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 boop. Yeah. Like what? Why aren't those social gatherings a safe place? Why are these cities, you know, all fucking terrible to go to and nasty and stuff? And then like, why is it that I just feel safe in my house and I'm just gonna be permanently online? And then all that I see of women are these beautiful women that are online, and I guess that's the type of women that are out there, right? And then I go outside and then I look at these women and I'm like, what the fuck? Well, you don't look like what I see online. I don't like that. Ah! Oh shit, yeah, it's late. Ah! God damn it, I went off on a rant, didn't I? No! No! I blame him, Mr. Blue Shirt. Go black pill again tomorrow. It's not black pilling, it's very solvable. It is. It is. Where's my meds? Where's my meds? Mr. Blue Shirt. God damn you. You know what? You know what? At the end of the day, I understand what he's trying to say. I get it. He's like kind of pointing out, you know, the unfortunate state that we are in. That's what he's doing. He's pointing it out, you know. But it just makes me mad, I guess. Common sense and critical thinking no longer train humans, so something that you think is easy to solve is harder because of how dumb we are. I know. He's trying to say he wants to present a Christian, but doesn't have the scriptural knowledge to actually communicate the godliness he wants to pretend to have. I don't even like care about the religious stuff. I don't care. Like, I just. Oh man, it's just religion removed. Religion removed from what's going on. We can establish the religious stuff as we start changing some of the what we allow, you know? Like we can ask, we can sit there and we can be like, oh, woman, you need to be more humble and you need to not take nudie photos of yourself and post them online. That is a bad thing to do. But the fact that that option is out there for her, it's still gonna happen. It's still gonna happen, you know? You can shame, and you should. I'm not saying you shouldn't. Absolutely. Bad behavior. You should shame it. It's just... the fact that the option is still there is is a big problem. Hatter doesn't like free will. Free will? Free will to be a whore? What are you saying? You want me to support that? What's wrong with you? Without religion, why is porn a bad thing? It's really bad for relationships. It's absolutely degenerate. It affects men physically and mentally, and women too. It's not even a religious thing. It can fuck you up. Anti-goon gun. Blah, blah, blah. It's highly addictive. Highly addictive. You take a man who can't, you know, get sexual pleasure from this cesspit that is our dating crisis, and he's gonna find other routes for sexual pleasure. And it'll usually start off normal, but then that high that you get from it, you're gonna want more of it, you're gonna want more of it, and then it's gonna devolve, and then it's gonna turn into something worse. And then when you actually find someone to get into a relationship with, it's gonna be really hard to get it up. Or it's gonna be really hard to get any pleasure from the person that you're with. It's very sad. It's very unfortunate. It is. And it's like I'm not even really mad with the guys that, you know. No, I don't know. It's tough because it's like you can say don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, but the option is still there. And it's easy, right? It's like fast food. It's like, oh, you could, you know, make food at home, but the fact that there's a Burger King that's like 5 minutes away, why don't I just go do that? Laziness. It is. Why not? This other thing takes much more effort. I don't want to do that. Good thing I don't like to leave my house. Fuck! The internet's not all bad, you know? There's just a lot of bad aspects about it. There is. Especially when it comes to relationships and dating. It can be very toxic to a lot of people. Just gotta have realistic expectations, you know? If you're an average looking person, get with an average looking girl, you know? You guys could have a wonderful life. You really could. Except when it comes to work, I just don't like working for myself. Oh man, just gotta force people to do things. Yeah, you guys, where's my weapon? Ah, where's my Where's my
My
little
dick is
anti-goon gun,
uncomfortably
huh? No, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. Can I just download the new AI wife? I mean, that's where we're headed, honestly. That is where we're headed. To be honest. I get it. I totally get it. I get why we're headed that direction. Why so many guys feel like they have to give up. It makes me sad though. Yeah. Get in the goon pod. 2B sex robots that can reproduce. Oh my god. Honestly, like it feels like something as extreme as that might happen. But then women are gonna die out. And then unless the women start getting violent, they're just gonna die out. You know what I mean? Like that's how it's gonna go. Like if the men are just gonna be given AI sex robots that can reproduce, and they start choosing the sex robots over actual women, then the women are gonna have to probably start getting violent or something, you know? Because the men aren't gonna do it. We can't let Powder die out. We need her. Well, I'm glad you say that. Thank you. Women will have to step up their game. It's not that. No, I think it's inevitable. I think it's inevitable that women will just die out. I don't even think that they will be able to compete. Powder still has a good 6,000 years left in her life. Yeah. Oh my god. No, Karu, I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that at all. I'm talking about the people in charge that make these terrible decisions. I don't think people realize that they're like trying to kill you. And they're doing it slowly. They're slowly killing us. You're cool, Powder. 2B sex robots that can give me children's way better. Ah! Ah! I know the secret to immortality. I do. Or we will get to a point where we don't reproduce with each other. It's just grown from tubes. Tube babies! Oh my god, we're gonna have test tube babies! Ale. What are you saying? Blue-eyed? Doesn't even have to be blue-eyed. Have a good night, Powder. Bye, Brian. Sleep well. You know what else is good for your health? A good night's rest. Guys, no, I'm so mad. Okay, so tomorrow, we still have 2.5 days together. I have Jackbox downloaded. We're gonna play Jackbox tomorrow. I promise you. You guys still have me for tomorrow and the next day. I'm sorry I got off on a rant. Mr. Blue Shirt, I was getting so mad. I'm extending an olive branch though. I understand that he's just trying to lay it all out and he's trying to just point out the problems with society and stuff, and I already know the problems, and it sucks, and I get it, and it can be solved. It's not hopeless. It can be fixed. It really can, and I believe in you guys, and it's just it hasn't gotten bad enough yet. But it can. It could. It really could. Will it happen in my lifetime? I don't know. In your lifetime, though, you gotta figure it out, guys. I can only do so much. Probably won't be fixed in our lifetime. Yeah, I don't know. I really don't know. When tomorrow for Jackbox? I'll try and do it, like, in the middle of the day. In the middle towards the end of the night. Tomorrow's Saturday, so most people have that off. But in the middle towards the end, of the day, I think would be good. I'm so tired. I'm so tired. Which Jackbox? I think we should play murder trivia murder party or something. Yeah, night, energy gone. I know. Let me say this before I go, before I get mad and stuff. Throw a little elf tantrum here. I'm gonna throw an elf tantrum. No, I'm not. I'm happy. I'm zen. Everything's fine. I'm fine. I'm gonna start posting on Twitter. Reaper, thank you for the Prime sub. Oh no, I swear to God. I'm gonna start getting angry. I'm gonna go start tweeting about it. Okay. Jokes aside. Jokes aside, guys. Jokes aside. Thank you very much for today. Thank you for watching me play Skyrim. Thank you for hanging out with me. Thank you so much for fulfilling my sub goals. I'm gonna get that Minecraft server, and I'm also gonna message the artist about the new design. Things are gonna be just fine, guys. Thank you so much for a fun time. I'll try not... Yeah, I'm fine. Everything's okay. Okay. Sleep well, guys. I'll see you tomorrow, okay? Let's play some Skyrim. Let's play some trivia murder party, and let's all hang out, and we can... I'm closing out of Mr. Blue Shirt Man. How dare he? He's awoken something within me. Rah! Okay, bye. Good night. Sleep well. Bye.